Good day to everyone. So this will be my first try making a video for our lesson, which is about modifiers. So I hope that everyone would be able to learn from this lesson. So, what are modifiers? Modifiers are words, phrases, or clauses that provide description in sentences. Modifiers allow writers to take the picture that they have in their heads and transfer it accurately to the heads of their readers. Modifiers, it can be a word, a phrase, or a clause. So, here are some examples. So for word, we have cool and intelligent. Ken is the class hero. For the phrase, we have the sentence, the moment Michael saw the ghost, the hair on his hands stood up. So our phrase there is on his hands. It shows where. And last is the clause, the girl whom you spoke to a minute ago is dead. So whom you spoke to a minute ago is our modifier. So based on the definition, provides description in sentences. So it's similar to like an adjective. But let's find out more. So modifiers paint a better picture. Essentially, modifiers breathe life into sentences. Take a look at this dead sentence. So Stephen dropped his fork. So that's our dead sentence, or that's our just plain old sentence. So with modifiers, here is our sentence. Now turn to paragraph. So poor Stephen, who just wanted a quick meal to get through his 3-hour biology lab, accidentally dropped his fork on the cafeteria floor, gasping with disgust as a tarantula wiggled out of his cheese omelet, a sight requiring a year of therapy before Stephen could eat eggs again. So, uh, going back to what I said earlier, so it is like adjectives. But the difference is modifiers paint a better picture. If adjectives only describes a noun, a pronoun, so with to give them more descriptions, so describing, so modifiers help turn help create a better picture, help you, the readers, imagine what is the paragraph or the story all about. So, continuing. So, the importance of modifiers. Modifiers can be adjectives, adjective clauses, adverbs, adverb clauses, absolute phrases, infinitive phrases, participle phrases, and prepositional phrases. So, the sentence above, so here, or the paragraph above, contains at least one example of each. So, for adjective, so poor, adjective clause, who just wanted a quick meal, adverb, quickly, adverb clause, as a tarantula wiggled out of his cheese omelet, absolute phrase, a sight requiring a year of therapy before Stephen could eat again, infinitive phrase to get through his 3-hour biology lab. Oops, we have their participle phrase. Here we go. Sorry, didn't see that one coming. Okay. Participle participle praise, gasping with disgust, prepositional praise on the cafeteria floor. So, without modifiers, sentences would be no fun to read. Carefully chosen, well-placed modifiers would allow you to depict or imagine situations with as much accuracy. So looking back, what would you imagine much clearer? Stephen dropping his fork or this one? So as you can see, here we have many modifiers helping you imagine the scene. Let's say if you're watching a movie, let's say in a radio, if you're just listening to the words, so with these modifiers, you can easily picture out the scene that's happening right now, everything around the character. Okay, so moving before we continue, although you all of you know from previous lessons what are the participle phrase, infinitive phrase, prepositional phrase, adjective clause, adverb clause. So let's just have a brief recap. So when we say a phrase, it is a group of related words that is used as a single part of speech. It does not contain both a subject and a verb. While a clause, on the other hand, it is a group of related words containing a subject and a verb. And we have two different kinds. The independent, one that can stand alone, and the dependent one that cannot stand alone. So the difference between the two is that a phrase does not include a subject and a verb relationship because it does not contain a subject and a verb. While a clause, so it contains a subject and a verb. Now, advanced thinking, some of you may ask, what's the difference between between a clause and a sentence? So I have here an answer. So coming from Quora, don't worry, I have links from my references for you to see later on. So simply put, a clause has a subject and a verb. A sentence has a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought. So that's the simple difference between a clause and a sentence. Now we have here, sorry, we have here absolute phrase. So that's the one thing that you may not know. So also search for everyone. So absolute phrase. So absolute phrase combines a noun and a participle with any accompanying modifiers or objects. So the pattern is here. So we have the noun, the participle, and optional modifier and or object. So examples, legs quivering, our old dog Gizmo dreamed of chasing squirrels. We devoted Oh, we devoured Aunt Lenora's carrot cake, our fingers scraping the leftover frostings off the plates. So we're not going to discuss this too much since our main topic is about modifiers. But simply put, rather than modifying a specific word like an adjective, an absolute phrase will describe the whole clause. So it is like an adjective, but an adjective only modifies a noun and a pronoun. An absolute phrase modifies the whole clause, the entire clause. So now moving on, we have what we call misplaced modifiers. A misplaced modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that is improperly separated from the word it modifies or describes. Because of the separation, sentences with this error often sound awkward, ridiculous, or confusing. Furthermore, they can be downright illogical. So, some examples. So we have here. The young girl was walking the dog in a short skirt. So the dog is wearing a short skirt. So this sentence is correct. But if we imagine this, the dog is wearing a short skirt. Next is the dog was chasing the boy with the spike collar. So the sentence is still correct. But the boy is wearing a spike collar. So the modifiers are misplaced. They're not in their proper position. So the correct versions should be the girl or the young girl in a skirt, was walking the dog. So the girl was the one wearing a short skirt. And similar to the second sentence. So the dog was the one wearing the spike collar. Okay? Okay. And to end it all, so hence Misplaced modifiers are words that, because of awkward placements, do not describe what the writer intended them to describe. So to avoid them, place modifying words as close as possible to what they describe. Okay, so that's all for our lesson for today, the modifiers. So thank you. So here we have our references. So I do not take full credit. I took some information and just edited out in order to give you this lesson. Hopefully, this will protect me from any copyright issues. That is all. Good day and goodbye.